Rakesh Jain, CEO of Reliance General Insurance, talks about the struggles of the insurance sector in the pandemic years and the growth areas. Here's more from that conversation.
The insurance industry has undergone a lot of changes in the past 1 year. Meanwhile, the general insurance industry has grown by 16% in FY23. To talk more about the industry and the company in general, we have with us Mr. Rakesh Jain, Chief Executive Officer of Reliance General Insurance. Welcome to the Business Standard Banking Show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me today.
I would like to start off with a question that in FY23, we saw that the premiums of general insurance industry went up by 16%. But Reliance General saw an increase of just 9%. So, how would you care to explain what happened there?
So, I think if you really see the general insurance industry in the last 3 years, of course, the COVID years, had actually gone through a big, I would say, pain. And the industry almost dipped to a zero growth, in the years 21 and 22 was a modest turnaround. Having said that, I would say that Reliance General Insurance, we have always believed in consistent growth. And if you really see even the earlier last 3 years, when the industry was as good as very marginal growth rate, we had grown 15%. This year, when we entered into, there were two things which were actually in front of us. The first thing, we obviously wanted to correct a bit of a balance in our crop insurance portfolio, which is a good part of our portfolio. And we had taken a calibrated view to undergrow the crop insurance. Of course, we have grown crop insurance. If you really see for GI players, crop insurance has grown 12%. For us, it has grown 5%. So and it's a big portfolio. It's almost 30% of our portfolio. So we had taken a view to balance the portfolio well. And I think that is one big reason. The second reason is also in motor insurance. We saw that there was a significant steepening of claims coming in, especially in the own damage side of motor insurance. And the third party rates which got increased were also quite nominal, for us to give that any comfort in the overall portfolio.
Generally, what we have seen is growth in the general insurance industry has been driven by health segment. Now, but motor, especially in FY23, it has come back. The growth has come back. So would you say that the motor segment has got its mojo back, or it's still early days to say that?
See, I would say that the motor industry has come back because of the base effect. It's not that the industry has dramatically improved. I think the two-wheeler industry continues to struggle on, still performance. Commercial vehicles has been in between. It has bounced back in certain segments. Certain segments are coming in. Private car luxury segment has done well, which obviously is a very small component of overall, car sales. And the rest of the segment has done a modest thing. So if you really see the mojo has been where new models have come in, and perhaps the SUV category between the 10 to 20 lakh bracket, that has seen a lot of, I would say, interest. And the luxury segments. Frankly, the volume growths have been quite modest. So most of the people are saying that we are back to pre-COVID times. So in some ways, the last 2-3 years, mojo is like going back to where we were. So I think it's a mixed bag, but it's good to be back to where we were before the COVID times.
As you said, there is intense competition also in the motor segment. So going forward, will health be the only driver of general insurance growth? And because what we have seen is that it has stagnated a bit since pandemic. So is it sustainable just going on health?
So I think the structural shift which has taken place will bring in long-term dividends. And why these dividends will accrue is because the need for health, is tremendous. India is the most populous country in the world. And, half the country is uncovered. And even, let's say 40-45% of the people who are covered are actually covered in government schemes.
Yes.
And not on specific schemes offered to an individual customer, a customized cover, or something which meets specific needs of an individual. So if you really see retail health, what we say, which meets individual needs, it's just about 4-5% of the total coverages. So it has tremendous scope in terms of growth and opportunity. So health will continue to be a big driver in times to come. Of course, as I said, if retail health has to grow big time, it needs to customize its offering to the end consumer. It cannot be a generic thing. Hence, how new products comes in, how coverages come in, how service levels are created, how claims are settled, what experience you deliver. All these things will make a big difference. And this is where companies have to work hard.
With the composite license thing coming in, there have been a lot of discussions, and even in the past, life insurance companies have been wanting to get into the health segment. With this composite thing coming in, do you fear that the exclusiveness of health insurance, which was limited to general insurance companies, would be taken away, and this could prove to be a problem for the general insurance sector?
See, it is very difficult to say because health is, of course, a universal subject and something which, everybody wants to do something. But one thing we must understand, the health which we are doing today, is predominantly like the way life companies are doing term life, because we sell indemnity products and it is hugely service oriented, claims oriented, and there is tremendous amount of customer handling and involvement. It is not like a long-term product, which is sold and you manage, many of the risks over a very long period of time. So I think there is a big difference in the way the construct of the, two health proposition is. Like, in our case, we are handling, we are still a company which is coming up and into the top rung 3. But last year we settled over 23 lakh claims. Almost 60-70% of those claims were health claims. That is huge by any comparison with, other insurance industry, life insurance.
Thank you very much for taking our question. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Shubhrato. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Rakesh Jain says that 60 to 70% of the general claims settled last year were from health insurance. However, he pointed out that only 5% of the population is covered under retail health insurance today.